Hello and a very warm welcome back to the Gimme a Hull Yeah Wrestling Podcast. My name is Dom. I am here with mighty Sam Smith, who has been doing some wonderful stuff. You've had a busy week, Sam, haven't you? You've had the Diablo launch, you've had loads of stuff going on. How is everything with you, mate?
I'm very tired, a little bit run down, but I've been ill for about a week, but feeling mentally feeling pretty good.
Good.
I'm catching up with a lot of wrestling. I'm really behind, especially on the AEW and NXT and Ring of Honor stuff. But I'm chomping. Hopefully this weekend I'm going to chomp my way through a little bit of that backlog.
Awesome, mate. Well, I'm very excited to have you. It's lovely to hang out with you again as well. Hopefully, we're going to be hanging out quite a lot over the next few weeks and months. I'm very excited about that. But that's not why we're here, Sam. We're here to review Against All Odds. We couldn't watch it live. You were doing SmackDown. I was busy with other things. So we're right here because we love Impact, don't we, Sam? We love this. And I love this. I love this pay-per-view. They call them pay-per-views on Impact, don't they? I love this pay-per-view. It was great. Some surprising results. But we'll get right into that after this. This has been a very long introduction. I'm very sorry, but it's good to have you with us, whether you are here now or whether you're here afterwards. This is our Against All Odds 2023 review with me, Dom, and that's Sam. Yeah.
He'll put his teeth back in by the interview by the intro, and now I have to.
This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Well, hello and welcome to Give Me a Hull Yeah. I hope everyone there, right there in Yorkshire, is having a nice day. Bang, bang. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Mick, for that lovely intro. So let's get into Against All Odds 2023. In an ideal world, we would have been there live, but we are watching it back because, you know, Impact do great work. We get a lot of over on WrestleSphere and SoundSphere, and in the past, right here on Gimme a Hull, yeah, we've had a lot of support from Impact Wrestling, getting interviews with Impact stars. Most of them appeared on this card. And so we like to give a little bit of love to Impact. You know, I believe it's the most, certainly one of the most exciting wrestling shows out there. And Against All Odds proved that, Sam. So we're going to run down the card. We're going to go through each match and we're going to see what we thought about it. Does that sound okay to you, Sam?
Yes, as long as we start with the pre-show, because I've got some things to say.
Okay, I only did the main card, so you take us through.
Well, did you watch it on Fight? Because they usually include the Impact are really good. They put the pre-show on with the main card.
Okay, what was on the? Because I got Eddie. My first one was Eddie Edwards and Kazarian.
Oh no, mate! You missed a couple of bangers.
Okay, go on.
So hang on, like I've got to get the card up and be. I've got professional. I didn't have it ready. There we go.
I've got the main card ready, but before we do that, Miguel Torres has joined us. Thank you very much for joining us, Lee. How was your day? Yes, it's good. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock p.m. It's 8 p.m. in the UK, which is lovely for us because we typically do these things quite late on for in the UK. So it's absolutely lovely to have you with us and thank you very much for joining us. How was your day, mate? Sam, take us into the intro, into the pre-show, please.
So it was only two little matches, and they're only little ones. So we had the first match we had was Kaylin King with Taylor Wilde against a returning Nevaeh. Not a huge amount to say. It kind of furthered the story about Kaylin King and Taylor Wilde being creepy witches, which there's a lot of that going around at the moment in wrestling. But yeah, so that was a 5-minute match. Nothing, you warmed up the crowd well enough. The second match, I'm actually surprised, was on the pre-show, which was Joe Hendry defeating Dirty Dango for the Impact Digital Media Championship. Now, this was a 6-minute match. It was, I don't want to say it was a glorified squash, but it kind of was. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is they've been doing a lot of work with Dango in his promos.
Yeah. Dango's a great promo as well.
Yeah. And he's satiring the smart fan of like the Jim Cornette fraternity, which I sometimes dabble in. I'm not gonna lie. I know you've had some. You've got some opinions there, but he's really good at doing it. But I felt like this should have been on the main card, perhaps. And I'm a bit surprised that it was another babyface championship win on this card, which is a little bit. It certainly sent the fans home happy, if not a little bit confused. This show. So I am of the view that Dango should have won this.
Oh yeah, Dango needs a push. I think he's great. I think his promo stuff is fantastic. I'm really sad to have missed this. I know that Dango turned heel on one of the shows, and I love this sort of more serious Dango, really. So
serious. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, but it's such a shame that Dango lost this, Sam.
Yeah, it confused me a bit because the fact that it was on the pre-show probably meant they weren't gonna do much but spin the wheels. But I think it's quite frustrating. Like, I'll trust where they're going. Obviously, Joe Henry's a big star there, and he's over as Rover, so fair enough. But I think
which is good.
Yeah,
We've actually got I was going to say we've actually got an interview with Joe Hendry on. This is the first interview I did with Joe Hendry. One of them is on Soundsphere. One of them is on right here on Gimme a Hull. Yeah, the first one we ever did with Joe Hendry is on this channel. So if you're interested in Joe Hendry, you can see an interview with Joe on this channel. But anyway, there you go. Go on, Sam. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so that's the pre-show done, mate. So over to you with the main card.
Fantastic. So we have the main card, and Chris has joined us. Thank you very much, Chris. Does some great work. I've been on Chris's show over on Twitch as well. He's a good lad. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you for joining us early on. We started up with Frankie Kazarian and Eddie Edwards here, Sam. Now, Frankie Kazarian is a workhorse. I've never really been that enamored with his work. This is a personal opinion. I'm not a wrestler. I don't have the ability of Frankie Kazarian, but he's never really excited me. Eddie Edwards, meanwhile, I think is a great heel. He's also a great face. He's a great hardcore wrestler, but he's also a great technician. And I believe his technical skills were shown here perfectly with Kazarian. And Kazarian is... he is Impact through and through. He's a TNA lifer. This was a really great technical match. I was impressed with it. Again, for me, Kazarian is there to put people over, to make people look good traditionally. But also, he had a run as the elite hunter in AEW.
Yes,
at least he has. He does have pedigree, and he does win matches. And this is an example of one of those. Just want to shout out that there was some lovely references here from the commentators. Who referenced that they're both Killer Kowalski students. Obviously, Eddie at different stages. Alicia Edwards now back with Eddie, played a part in this. This definitely had a classic sort of TNA feel, Sam. But a technical masterclass, taking it back to sort of Wolves era Eddie Edwards. And then there was some really cool moments here, Sam, where Alicia was sent out for interfering, for stopping Kazarian after that sort of reverse tombstone there. And then Kazarian, managed to hold on to the legs after a Tiger Driver was reversed. To get the win, Kazarian getting the win here, Sam. And I feel like there must have been something in Kazarian's contract when he left, because obviously he was with AEW, but would have been making great money over there. And he, there must be something in Kaz's contract which means he's going to have maybe even a world title run, because I would imagine he was sought after on the independents as well, because he is a workhorse and because he is. Arguably, it's very much like a Dean Malenko, and just because I don't like his work, remember, I like storytelling and I like, kind of hardcore wrestling. So it's just not my taste. It's not to say that Kazarian isn't one of the best wrestlers out there. I think he will have had something in his contract saying that he was going to come back into these types of matches and he was going to win them, and he was maybe going to go on to bigger things, maybe an Impact World title run. And I feel like this is the first step in that. Eddie Edwards, of course, a former Impact main eventer, because the only way I could see, the reason why Kazarian is getting the win here is that he is going to be pushed forward into that main event scene. I don't know what your thoughts were on this one, Sam. If you, like I say, I've just given mine, so take it away with yours, please.
Yeah, so that's the thing with Kazarian. He's very old school. He one of the boys. He's very fixated on. He appears to be helping like new talent get over. Like, he was instrumental in putting AEW together and to a lot of the backstage stuff, along with Christopher Daniels, which a lot of people don't know about. That he's famously a very nice guy, and I can attest to that from when we met him in LA a few months ago. He was a lovely bloke. We just happened to be stood at the same bar as him, and it was like, oh, hello, Frankie Kazarian. You know, lovely to meet you. Dan and Andy and I got a photograph with him and Bully Ray. So lovely fella. Again, we weren't there to stalk wrestlers. We were just having dinner, weren't we? But there they all were. And that's Whiskey a Go-Go for you. Not Whiskey a Go-Go. It was
that was the Rainbow Rooms.
Rainbow Room. That was so cool in there. But yeah, so and that's who he is. He's been the guy who puts over younger guys. And the Elite Hunter was a bit of a silly gimmick because it just made him look a bit toothless in AEW. And they were always going to turn the Elite babyface again once Kenny dropped that title, which is exactly what they did. So, yeah, you'd like to think now that they should, before he retires, hopefully he's got many years left, but he does deserve that big position, and I think Impact's the place to give it him because it's not going to be AEW. I don't think it's going to be, certainly not going to be WWE. I don't think it's Last Chance Saloon. I'm not trying to write him off because he's such a talent, but I think Impact is he could be top of the mountain in Impact now, and just like they've done with another Impact veteran very recently, it seems to be that a lot of people who are owed are now getting what they're owed. So yeah. I think you might be right.
Yeah, I really do think so. And like I say, it'd be interesting to see what they do with Kazarian going forward after this big win of Eddie Edwards. A shout out next coming, in the next segment we saw Jimmy Jacobs, interviewing, doing some backstage interviews. Now, I haven't seen Jimmy Jacobs in a long time. Long-term Impact fans might tell me that he's been, I know he's been backstage for a while, but in terms of being on-camera interviewer, it's the first time I'd seen Jimmy Jacobs in that role. It's great to see Jimmy Jacobs doing interviews. There's a great promo around the sort of 4-man tag or the 8-man tag match, which will lead into that fatal 4-way later on. And everybody's talking about trust. And then Bully Ray comes in there and he's like, "You don't trust me. You can trust me in the 8-man tag." But then I'm gonna stab you in the back. It was a really nice promo from Bully Ray. The next match, the tag team match, we had Brian Myers' team of the Good Hands versus the Bullet Club, Ace Austin and Crist. Now, I think the last time we reviewed this, I was a little bit critical of Ace Austin and Crist. And this match really solidified them as a team for me. I thought they were absolutely fantastic here. Solidified themselves as one of the best tag teams out there, really, for me. And they really, I don't know what it was, but I did not buy ABC, the Ace and Bay Club, as a world beating tag team, but this match was potentially my match of the night. And if the following match hadn't happened, I would have been absolutely and totally enamored with this. The Good Hands have now replaced the ABC. They've got the vitriol. The Good Hands, Sam, I'm not buying them as a credible threat to ABC and to really any tag team. And Brian Myers is a great manager, but the Good Hands, Sam, they're not really doing it for me. And in this match, there was some nice moments, tributes to the Good Brothers and Motor City Machine Guns by respective teams. Ace Austin, performer of the night, when we get around to that potentially. To be fair, I was impressed with John Skyler at points in this as well from the Good Hands. But like I said to you, ABC might be one of the best tag teams in the world after this. I thought their performance was fantastic. There was a lovely little moment where Ace was kicked out of the ring by Hotch, and Ace turned that into a spear. So it was like it was a spot where he kicked him out of the pin, and then Ace Austin ran and speared Brian Myers on the outside, showing that athleticism. It was great. Bay came out immediately with a beautiful somersault. That was amazing. It was, again, a lovely little tribute to the Good Brothers with the Magic Killer by the Good Hands. That was cool. I thought there was some lovely little shout-outs to other teams in this. ABC got the win after the fold, which is Ace Austin's lovely sort of blockbuster-style finisher. If anybody remembers sort of Buff Bagwell in WCW, and a kind of much more exciting and acrobatic version of a blockbuster in the fold, to get the win there. Really enjoyed this. Once again, I've kind of replaced when I wasn't that into ABC, the good hands have now got that, and now I'm all about ABC. And I think, of course, they're in the Bullet Club, so people around the world now see the value of Ace Austin. I prefer his hair like this too. He looks better with like slick back hair, personally. And Chris Bay, man, I think there was rumors that other companies like AEW and WWE were interested in Chris Bay a long time ago, before he re-signed with Impact, and I can see why. I think he's got that sort of attitude, your Swerve Strickland type attitude and vibe, and obviously again the Bullet Club, the Bullet Club rub, so to speak, is all over Chris Bay now and Ace Austin. So, solidifying themselves not only as a great tag team, but world-beating competitors, and surely, as we're going to talk about later on, Multiverse United, which has been announced, we could see them, do some world-beating on a big stage with New Japan. So ABC just blew my mind here, Sam. Your thoughts on this match, please?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say New Japan are having a great time at the moment. They've got Multiverse United with Impact, and they've got Forbidden Door with AEW. They're having an absolute blast. I wonder if they're going to do sort of saying that anything they do with Ring of Honor is probably through AEW these days, isn't it? But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I think these two fit in Bullet Club really well. Bullet Club struggling a little bit at the moment because there's a lot of confusion with it. There's a lot of new younger guys in it, which is fine, and not all of them fit. We still don't know if Jay White's still in it or not with Juice Robinson. It's all very like with Bullet Club Gold and AEW. It's all very confusing. But this part of Bullet Club, the little Impact contingent that we've got, is great. I'm really into it. These two were loner heels for the longest time in Impact, who didn't need anyone. But since they've come together under the Bullet Club banner, they've been great. And and it's being in Bullet Club has kind of turned them face as well. And Bullet Club's always one of those stables where they have heels and faces at the same time, depending on who you are and what you're doing. And it works now for these two to be baby faces. Like, they're still themselves. They're still a bit naughty. There's still some Bullet Club chicanery now and then. But because they're fan favourites, you're cheering them. And they're up against two up-and-coming heels, which is the Good Hands. Now, I thought here the Good Hands were kind of fed to Bullet Club, but they got a little bit too much offense for me. They looked a little bit too competitive. I would have liked to have seen a kind of a glorified squash, but one that, it's a weird one because I don't really like squash matches, but I wanted Bullet Club to go in as the obvious favourites. And I think Good Hands took them to the limit a little bit too much. Like, I get they're trying to push new teams, and that's a great idea, but I don't know if this was the place to do it.
You thought the Good Hands had a solid showing then, and they were being pushed really?
Well, I thought there were times where the Bullet Club guys were on the floor in pain, or they were selling, and they were being like plucky baby faces, and they were tested by the Good Hands. And there was no point where they didn't. Is
that not the point though? Is that not the point to have?
Yeah, it is. It's just I don't know if they're there yet. Like, they're up against the champs. I would have liked for their healer chicanery to have gone wrong, or for them to have cheated more, rather than them looking like warriors. But cheating against Bullet Club, they invented. They know all the tricks. So I would have booked it a little bit differently. I would have had maybe Brian Myers get involved and cost it for them, or something like that. That's just me. It was a good match, but I think it was a victim of its own success. Yeah. You can't win, can you, with wrestling fans?
No, you can't. You can't win with wrestling fans. So when you say a victim of its own success, your issue is that the Bullet Club didn't look strong enough.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think they should have dealt with the Good Hands, because the whole point of the Good Hands is the kind of cowards who attack you behind your back, and can they get it done in the ring? They're stooges. They're the Miztourage for Brian Myers. That's what they are. So for them to actually really, really push the champs, I don't know. It didn't really fit with the heel dynamic for me. Well, obviously you can be a monster. You can still be a good wrestler and a heel. Of course you can. But I think they were too much of a threat for me. But I suppose if they're trying to get them over, that's what you've got to do.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Like I say, interesting points there, Sam. And I guess we'll have a look at, we'll see what happens with the Good Hands. going forward, and if they do have the it factor that I believe ABC do right now. Moving on from there, we had some more promo stuff. Trinity and Deonna. Trinity wants Deonna to feel every ounce of her glow at Slammiversary. I enjoyed that comment. They're sort of on the same page at the moment going into this tag team match. And then, Sam, we got the dog collar match between Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly. Now, this was exceptional.
Sorry to interrupt you, mate. A thunderstorm is just brewing behind me, and I've got to go and shut that. I've just got to go and shut that window. I'll just be one.
It's okay. It's all right, mate. You go shut the window. So I'm going to carry on here, and I'm going to tell you about this match. This was absolutely exceptional. This isn't obviously Masha versus Killer Kelly, but this is a picture of Killer Kelly absolutely destroying another talent from Impact, because Killer Kelly is just fantastic, a hardcore wrestler. The look is great, the kind of vibe is great. I'm such a fan of Killer Kelly, Sam. Masha Slamovich as well was on fire here. I've made the most notes about this one because it just blew my mind. It blew my mind. Was it the first dog collar match featuring two women? I'm not sure. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Somebody do some research, because I didn't do my research, and I was just like, this is the first dog collar match that I've seen featuring two women. Anyway, potentially the two toughest women in wrestling. Masha joke puts, there was some brutal moments here. Masha Slamovich sort of jamming Kelly into the ring post and then biting her, dragging Kelly back in the ring with the chain. That was brutal, man. And the audience was split. Some were chanting Masha, some were chanting Kelly. The dynamic was fantastic between the two. There was a lovely, cool moment where Kelly used the chain to pull Masha into a DDT. Masha hung Kelly on the ropes as well. That was like insane. It was like an old school spot, a bit like the where they hung Roman Reigns. Well, did they hang Roman Reigns up? What are you clicking? You're clicking.
Oh, no, don't mind me. I'm pissing around with my desk lamp to try and, because the light is bust up here, or at least it isn't. It just makes too much noise and reflects on the lens. So I was trying to get the best possible light.
It's okay. You sort of there's some dark and mysterious stuff going on there. Yeah, definitely. The shadow is there's a shadow behind the shadow of your hat is looming behind you. Yes, indeed. But yeah, like I really love this. There was a near fall with a snowplow first from Kelly to Slamovich before Kelly fell to Masha, hitting the snowplow. A tribute there, of course, to Al Snow, who I think trained both of them, which is again lots of little callbacks to previous Impact performers and Impact Hall of Famers here, and that was one to Al Snow. Callbacks to Al Snow there. There was a weird moment of respect. Oh, I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure wrestling fans will be fantasy booking that in various ways. The show of respect between Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly at the end, where Masha licked some blood maybe from Kelly's forehead. That was a weird moment. Obviously the collar came off as well, and they sort of both smiled. Maybe they're going to team.
I have some thoughts. Thoughts on this. But when you're ready,
no, I'm nearly done.
No. I mean, on the blood lick. I've got some thoughts. You
do, dear. I was impressed. I love Killer Kelly. I think she's a great talent. Masha Slamovich really was proved herself a bit like the sort of Mick Foley to Terry Funk, but if we're going, women's wrestling, it was, these two are destined to do this forever kind of thing. And I like that. I thought it was really great. And I know you've got your whole, you might have some opinions on this, but I thought this was my match of the night right here. I'll tell you it right now. I've not seen anything like it before. And they really, pushed the boat out for it. And Masha Slamovich got the win over Killer Kelly. And it was brutal. It was a hardcore match, and it was great. A dog collar matches are intense, and it was really well done. I thought. Your thoughts on this one, Sam?
Yeah, just a shout out to Jess, who's saying hello in the comments. Hello, Jess. I'll see you in about half an hour, I think, when you're home. But yeah, so I interpreted it that they've been battering each other for about 3 weeks straight, and they've run out of animosity. They've beaten it out of themselves, and I always got the impression that Masha was almost anointing, like literally anointing Killer Kelly as an equal. You know what I mean? It was with that whole, wiping it off thing or putting it on her or whatever it was. And then as she left, Kelly was there just smiling to herself insanely. And I think we've got a tag team coming up. Because I think Killer Kelly's always been the baby face in this story, and Masha's been the heel. But I think that show of respect from Masha was as good as a face turn as we're going to get. And going forward, something will happen. I think these two are forming a tag team. And I'm quite excited to see what they do because they're a match made in heaven. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But that's what I think that was signifying. It was the next evolution. They've fought so much now. There's now so much respect between them. All they can now. Imagine if we join forces. Imagine how powerful we could be. They're the mega powers all over again. Yeah, this is going to be good.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be amazing. And yeah, again, the mega powers. I like that, the hardcore mega powers. For me, like I said, it's Foley and Funk, but in female form. And I hope they're a tag team. And then I hope they destroy each other again. And I hope they become a tag team. Then I hope they fight each other again. I think there's so many legs to this pairing, and I'm very excited to see how it goes forward. Yeah, brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. Next up, we had Trey Miguel, in there, who we've done an interview with before over on Soundsphere. I think Soundsphere. He's over on Soundsphere.
Well, I think we've done one with WrestleSphere.
We've done. I think I've done 3 with Trey Miguel. I think one's on here, right here on Give Me a Whole Yeah. One's on Soundsphere and one's on WrestleSphere. So we love Trey. I think he's a great heel versus Crist Sabin. Now, Miguel I wonder what your thoughts are on this, Sam, and I will get to you as soon as possible on this one, because Trey Miguel is certainly the future of the X Division Championship, and sort of, for me, is the perfect person to hold it. Crist Sabin represents the past of it. Obviously we're not here to spoil, but of course, this is a review show. He became the 9-time X Division champion because of this match. And to me, and this goes with the main event as well, as much as I love, and I really do love the Motor City Machine Guns, and as a fan, I prefer Crist Sabin, and as a fan, I prefer Alex Shelley. But as a if I was booking this, I would have booked the opposite results on both sides. For me, the X Division is about Trey Miguel now in 2023, and Crist Sabin will always have his flowers and will always have a place, in Impact and on this card and on major cards going forward for the next few years, and obviously as he has done for the last 20 years. But it was a wonderful match. It was really well done. Trey Miguel always puts on fantastic matches. Lovely little STF, great little technical show from both of them. Sort of the old versus the new school, this felt like, between Crist Sabin and Trey Miguel. Miguel does some fantastic combo moves, like better than anybody else I've seen. Kicks into submission moves, all kinds of stuff. Just great, 1, 2, 3 moves in one. Trey Miguel, fantastic stuff. Again, another tribute. Christopher Daniels getting a tribute from Sabin, with the Angels wings. That was cool. Trey Miguel got caught. Those are a brilliant heel move from Trey Miguel. And I have to wonder if Trey Miguel's going up the card. Maybe that's why they've done this, is to put him up the card as a heel. To really solidify the heel side of Impact, because Impact has a lot of really solid faces, but not many great sort of top level heels. So maybe that's what Trey Miguel is going to do now. There's a lovely little moment where Trey got caught using the spray can, but he'd already prepared a second one. And that was really well done. So he gifted almost the spray can to the referee, and then had another one. So Sabin had Trey Miguel up, and Trey sprayed him in the eyes. It was that was great heel work from Trey, who is just, like I say, just an incredible performer. And I think he'll be a world champion somewhere down the line. I think he's amazing. I really do love his work, but it wasn't to be for Trey tonight. He did lose. Sorry, last night he did lose to Crist Sabin. Sabin now a 9-time champion. There was a brutal move here from Sabin where he dropped Miguel's ribs onto the turnbuckle, managed to wash that green stuff out of his eye, the spray stuff. There was an H2O chant, Sam, towards the end. I enjoyed that. A Styles clash by Sabin again. The tributes flowing this tonight, and then the cradle shock, which is that move that Sabin was going for before, but got sprayed. Got it this time. Got it a second time, and got the win over Trey Miguel. Your thoughts on Sabin winning this title tonight, winning the X Division Championship, Sam?
Well, I'm quite surprised because they normally, because let's just clarify, this actually wasn't a pay-per-view. It was one of Impact's monthly Impact Plus specials. So it wasn't like a Slammiversary or a Bound for Glory, but it had the feel of a pay-per-view. Like if someone's an Impact fan and you don't bother watching the monthly specials, you're going to go back to their TV and be like, what have I missed? Because nearly everything changed near enough. So I am surprised this wasn't on a bigger show and wasn't an Ultimate X match, which is where they normally do these X Division title changes. But yeah, so it actually took me by surprise when Sabin won. And then I thought to myself when he did, I wonder if the whole point of this is Sabin wins and Shelley comes up short and we might have some beef between the Motor City Machine Guns. And that is where I was going in my head.
Yeah, that's logical. To me, that's logical, yeah.
Yeah, that is where I was going. I thought, ooh, this is meant to be Shelley's night. And it turned out to be Motor City Machine Guns night, didn't it? But yeah, again, I don't know where they're going to go with Trey. He's been the standout guy from the Rascals. I know one of them's gone back to the Indies because he had some difficulty after, with a couple of pictures that got leaked of him. We won't go into any detail.
I think it was the speaking out stuff, something around that.
Yeah. And Desmond Xavier is called Wesley in NXT, and he's actually kicking ass. He's actually doing really well. But I think for me, Trey Miguel is the MVP of the Rascals.
I agree.
He's been the one who, for some reason, didn't go over to the big dub, but has somehow become a bigger star than everybody.
Yeah.
I think he stayed in a smaller shop, but has become a bigger star. And I now think everybody will be knocking on the door for this guy. But I think his future might lie in New Japan, some Best of the Super Juniors, some G1 Climax, maybe even join Bullet Club at some point down the line.
Yeah. I think there was a comment made by Triple H when somebody asked him about why Trey didn't go, and it was something about the work. It was something about not everybody can do the work, or something along those lines. But one person's trash is another man's treasure, and we're seeing Scott D'Amore is certainly making the most of Trey Miguel, and I'm sure, like you say, very many organizations are going to be knocking the door down for Trey, going forward. You know what I mean? I certainly think other organizations that perhaps didn't call on, didn't make the call to Trey Miguel will be doing so.
Yeah, there's nothing apart from the big title. There's nothing he hasn't done in Impact now. So it wouldn't surprise me if AEW come knocking, or perhaps New Japan first. Because the good thing about Impact, AEW, Ring of Honor, and New Japan, the four of them, is they all, I know things go up and down here, but they have a tendency to sometimes work together and to do a little bit of talent sharing in the past. We've seen things happen. So I think Trey keeping his options open, but staying where he is right now and being in Impact's a great home for him. And fun fact, if you want to watch our most recent interview with Trey Miguel, he tells me a very funny story about him doing the DX suck it thing in school. And it will make you laugh because it made me laugh out loud. So go watch our interview to see that. and to see me spit my drink out. But
Oh, you're still there? Oh, he's frozen. But yeah, no, that was a great interview and great work from Sam on that. If you go check it out on WrestleSphere, I will make a note to put that in the description and the comments for you guys if you're interested in Trey Miguel. I'm just going to take Sam out of it while we figure out. Oh, he's coming back in. He's coming back in. He's back. Excellent. I was just
there's a storm outside. Things are going a bit crazy out there.
Yeah, we can. I can hear it's very atmospheric, Sam. Very atmospheric.
Oh, it's spooky, isn't it? Spooky.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I love thunderstorms. I love listening to it.
I do.
They're great. So it's an interesting match we had next, Sam. We had the sort of 8-man tag match, which would then lead into a fatal 4-way, which was sort of the 8-4-1. Nick Aldis, Rich Swann, Mike Bailey, Moose, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, PCO, and Bully Ray all in that. Really interesting sort of set of rules. Impact innovating again in 2023. Lots of great action. There's some lovely stuff between Bully and Speedball in this. I'd love to see a Bully and Speedball feud down the line. Lovely moment where Bully says, "You haven't done anything to Speedball. You haven't taken advantage of this moment." Then Speedball kicks him in the face. Bully Ray's selling. I mean, I know the guy is, he's a legend and everything, but his selling is very underrated. Bully can sell anything. That you see him selling that kick to the face was absolutely amazing and really well done.
Is that the one where he just face planted?
Yeah, face plants. Yeah. Lovely to see again. The old guard sort of getting their flowers in Impact, which I think doesn't really happen anywhere else. As much as I do make comments about maybe Trey Miguel, being the future, and I do love wrestlers that embody the future of the industry. But I also think there is time and a place. Maybe it wasn't in that match. Maybe it was. Maybe I would have had Trey go over. But certainly in general, Impact are great at giving older stars their flowers. Bully Ray is the first example here, and the second one is PCO. PCO is not human, Sam. He is, of course, the French-Canadian Frankenstein. Great to see him having some lovely, moments here, some big sort of spots. PCO just keeps going. He's an example to us all. PCO. I mean, how old is he now? And he's still cracking on a major level. A major stage.
Shall we find out how old he is?
There you go. You do that for me as I'm continuing my notes. There's another feud I want to see coming from this match is Gresham and Moose. Gresham and Moose have some really nice exchanges here. Gresham's fantastic. Really, really cool. There's really, really good stuff between Moose and Gresham. Obviously, a bigger dude and a smaller dude. Moose spears Swann, accidentally to end the match, to end the first part of it. Gresham takes advantage and Gresham's team advances. So then we, of course, have Bully versus Aldis versus Heath versus Gresham. Heath and Aldis do this wonderful spot, obviously harking back to Team 3D, holding Bully's legs open for Gresham to get the weather. And there was a nice little callback from Bully Ray to the Nia Jax "My Whole" meme. Bully Ray does a "My balls" thing. That was pretty funny. I noticed that. Bully, if you happen upon this, I noticed what you did there. I saw it. That was good. Lovely series after that from sort of roll-ups from the rest of the guys. Heath, Aldis, Gresham. This also bothers me when it comes to the main event, and we'll talk about this because Aldis gets the win here, guys. And Aldis has just come back to a lot of fanfare. He's a face now. You've got to assume he's going to be heel. He has to be heel to go against Alex Shelley, you would assume. But basically, the long and the short of this is Aldis wins. Bully Ray goes, this all happens. Bully Ray goes to hit Gresham with a chair. Scott D'Amore comes back. There's a kind of weird, awkward bit where Bully Ray's like, hit me. And then Scott D'Amore, when Bully turns his back to Scott D'Amore actually hits him with the chair. Bully Ray sells it like a champion as usual. Just selling this shot to the back like it's just killed him, and then the rest of the guys come and take advantage of that. Bully Ray is completely destroyed by that chair shot. A wake-up call happens on the chair to Bully Ray by Heath taking him out. Gresham hits a splash. Aldis makes the save, hits an elbow, that Aldis flying elbow, that classic elbow from Aldis through to Heath and Gresham. And then a cloverleaf by Aldis makes Heath tap. Now, Heath obviously is sort of the weaker link in this, you would assume. I would have preferred to see Gresham go over. Gresham seems to me the easier transition into a heel to go against someone like Shelley than Aldis, who's just come back and who probably, again, another guy that you would assume almost demands or almost certainly needs a title run. So why, but we'll talk about this at the end, but why would you have Aldis go over here if he's going to lose to Shelley in the next Slammiversary? But that's my sort of run through of that match. My standout of that whole thing was Jonathan Gresham. I think he's great. Easily the standout coming from Ring of Honor, and an absolute steal when it came to keeping, because obviously, Tony Khan could have maybe tempted him back to Ring of Honor. I know there was a little issue between the two of them, but Gresham is an absolute steal. I think next to Trinity, Gresham is an absolute steal for Impact Wrestling, and certainly should be in the main event in future years, months even. But Aldis got the win here, Sam, with that cloverleaf on Heath tapping out. Your thoughts on how this went down, run through the 8-man, your thoughts on that, and then the fatal 4-way and then the eventual win, please.
It was a novel idea, wasn't it? The 8-4-1 thing. It was nice to see the idea, but I felt like once one team won, the other team were just gone. I would have preferred it be an elimination match. I know it would have taken a little bit longer, but I think an elimination match would have been ramped up the tension a bit more, and then we could have had a moment where any four could have been in the final four, and they could have kept going from there. That's what I would have liked to have seen, like have the two tag guys but make it an elimination match. I don't know, but then what was the point of the tag if you're going to do that? I suppose I don't know. It just seemed a bit of an interesting. I'm not against it. It's a great way of having everybody in and then get rid of a whole swathe of them. I don't know. It was strange, but see, I'm pleased that Aldis won because I think he was the logical choice. Because yes, if he's going up against Shelley next, that's cool, but he actually has to earn that opportunity.
Yeah, I've not got a problem with him going up against it, but it seems like they're ready-made a Maclin and Aldis.
Yeah, well, you could still do it. You could still. I think Maclin is going to have his work cut out with him with Bully Ray, perhaps. Because they were floating around each other when he was the champion. I don't know if Maclin's going to take his anger out on Bully Ray, but then again, it's heel on heel, so maybe they won't. But I think they can still do that on the way to Slammiversary because there's a few weeks to go, a few things they can do. I think also Aldis referenced Strictly Business at one point during his promo. Strictly Business was his heel stable in the NWA. So if he owns the rights to that rather than Billy Corgan, he could resurrect an element of that in Impact and lead a bit of a hostile takeover. So that'd be if they do turn him heel, which presumably they're going to do. So I'm kind of curious because I don't know if that was just a callback to his NWA days, or is it a foreshadowing of what he's going to do next? I hope it's the latter, personally. So I'm quite curious, and I think like Gresham, his time will come. PCO perhaps as well. Moose has done everything. He'll be champion again one day anyway. I think if Aldis hadn't have won here, it would have been a bit like, well, hang on, what you brought him back to just to lose here. I think, I kind of get what they're doing with Aldis here, and I fully expected him to win this match or to lose by chicanery to somebody else and then feud with them for a bit.
Yeah, I absolutely expect him to win, but I was expecting him to be feuding with somebody very different when we headed into Slammiversary. But some good comments. Like I say, I think everybody's time will come. I'm not sure PCO is going to be an Impact World Champion, but certainly he will have some banger matches. I think Moose is as soon as his contract's up, he'll be snapped up by somebody else because Moose is he's done everything you need to do in Impact. Speedball is another world champion in the making. Was Heath? Again, I'm not so sold on, but again, Aldis certainly has a championship in his future. But let's move on, Sam, in the spirit of keeping this fairly short and fairly sweet as a review. The Impact Knockouts World Champion Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity teaming up versus Savannah Evans and Giselle Shaw. I've not really made too many notes on this one, Sam. I wasn't, again, massively into this. I think Giselle Shaw's a great heel. There was some really cool sort of dynamics between Deonna and Shaw. Again, Shaw is sort of solidifying herself as a fantastic heel there. There was at the end of the match, because obviously Deonna and Trinity got the win. It was kind of confusing. It was kind of a confusing win because Trinity was taken out, and it felt like Giselle Shaw's team had the momentum, but Deonna managed to get the win for her team. And then, sort of the beatdown happens, and then Trinity saves Deonna. So there was a beatdown from Giselle Shaw's kind of entourage to Deonna. Then Trinity makes the save. And then, like I say, what I would have done here is I would have had Trinity or Deonna attack the other person, and really leave us with a moment to remember. But they just kind of hugged. And to me, it wasn't an exciting match, Sam. It didn't really do anything to solidify the kind of who's the face, who's the heel going into Deonna versus Trinity, which really should be a well talked about match, given the buzz that Trinity had going into, coming into Impact Wrestling. A lot of people didn't even think that it was possible for Trinity to go to Impact, and here we are. But again, it was a really cool little showcase for Shaw. Some nice intergender stuff here as well. Vidal attacking Trinity on the outside. I like to see that stuff. I know you like it less, but I think, again, if we remember this is theatre, I think I like seeing stuff like that. I think it's cool in the context of what we're watching.
No problem with it here. The way they did it here works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's plenty of times where intergender stuff works. Masha Slamovich, for example, could knock out and
yeah. Masha Slamovich could destroy anybody on that roster, and so could Killer Kelly. So there's some good examples there that Sam is giving us of intergender wrestling when it works. But yeah, your thoughts on this one, really, because it didn't really do much for me, Sam.
I'm the same. I think Deonna's great. I kind of need to refamiliarize myself with Trinity because we haven't seen her for so long. She's still Naomi to me in many ways, or she's done a great job of referencing what she's done before and reinventing herself. She's going down the Mercedes Moné kind of route there, which is great. I'm a massive fan of Deonna Purrazzo. But yeah, there's no heat yet, is there? I think that's the issue. There's no heat. Are we going to have like a respectful babyface on babyface program? Okay, fair enough. But I can't help thinking there's got to be heat down the line if these two are going to be feuding with each other. And they haven't brought Trinity in to sit on the sidelines. And did you see that lightning?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And yeah, Trinity's winning. Trinity's winning at Slammiversary, right? They need some talking points. That thunder's amazing. It sounds
crazy,
great.
It sounds. I'm in the loft. When I'm up here, you can hear everything going on in the elements. It's crazy, but
absolutely. That wall seems very close to your head. Do you ever bang your head?
I'm not that tall, to be fair. It's because this is a loft, so there's a sloping roof there. And there's a sloping roof there. The room goes back quite far. But you can have a look there. It's one of the biggest rooms in the house. It's a big room, and I've kind of snagged it to be my office come playroom.
I like it.
But you normally see me downstairs in Jess's office because the internet's better. But I thought the cat just wouldn't leave me alone, and I realised I had to get away from the cat, so I'm up here hiding from him.
That's all right, man. That's okay. I was like worried about your head. I was like, if you do that, if you jerk backwards when you see like an exciting result of something, you could just be like,
I've got, to be fair, mate, I've got this awesome comfy chair, so it keeps me nice and supported. It's a massage chair as well. Let's watch.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right,
of course, you've got them. Do it, man. Do it. Put it on for the rest of.
I don't know if you can hear it or see it, but it's doing it.
So long as it's doing what it needs to do for you, mate, that's all that matters to me.
Oh,
we will. Yeah, absolutely. Do so.
Oh.
We've only got yeah, that's right. You get excited about it. We've only got a couple of matches to go. We'll try and speed through this, so because I need to go get some food. But this has been again been a fantastic pay-per-view, so a fantastic event, rather. And I really enjoyed it. This one was cracking. OVE versus the Design. The Design's crack starting to show. Man, Alan Angels. Tony Khan really dropped the ball on Angels. Man, he's so good. He's
Do you know
so
why?
good.
Because the Dark Order is crap, Dom. It's time for us all to admit it. It's been rubbish. It hasn't worked. It was never good. It's never going to be good. Kill the Dark Order. They've got the right idea on Ring of Honor. I hope the storyline they're doing a Ring of Honor where, who is it? Vincent.
Vincent and Dutch.
Yeah, Vinny Marsalia's cult story is actually a good one. Yeah, it's the whole
It's because
thing.
It's Bray Wyatt in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, well, it's similar. It's similar, but it's like who is he? Who's that serial killer? What's he called? Charles Manson. He's basically being Charles Manson, and that's terrifying. And he's pulling it off so well. I've never been a fan of the Dark Order, and Anthony's probably going to lap me when he sees me for saying this. But I'm sorry, this is how, Alan Angel. The Design is a better cult story as well, and Alan Angels is believable in this. So yeah, I agree. I think Alan Angels is proving he's good at this. And yeah, I'm long may this carry on.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of it, but I do think the Design are cracking. I think Angels is going to fight back against and maybe join Callihan as the sort of ex cult members of the Design. This was our Ohio Street fight. Really showcased Madman Fulton, of course. Fulton coming back. People will remember him from the first incarnation of Sanity in WWE as well. Fulton came back and did a great sort of big man job, fighting against Con. Great to see Con or Connery, as he was known in WWE, having a platform in the Design. This was just hardcore war, mate. It was, Alan Angels is great. He did some lovely little spots where he did the Brody Lee clothesline. That was really cool. Loved that. The Fulton was going to powerbomb Angels onto a barbed wire table, but Angels grabbed his dreads. Don used the stapler on the chest of Callihan. That was cool. There was a you never go for a sunset flip in a hardcore match because you're going to get stapled. Angels went for a sunset flip on Sami, got stapled. This was just brilliant. Dina got suplexed onto barbed wire. There was a bag of tacks. Con choke slammed Sami onto the tacks. Double choke slam. I noticed a double choke slam between Madman Fulton and Con on the apron. Man, it sounds like that sounds intense. Anybody
it
that
is.
watches
Is it not happening where you are? You're not that far from it.
No, it's beautiful, mate. It's beautiful, clear skies here. Well, maybe we'll get it.
What's going on? How's Hull got good weather? And we don't. What the hell? What the Hull?
There you go. What the Hull, man? What the Hull? There was again beautiful double choke slam between Con and Fulton. That was great. Took them out. A burning hammer to Jake Crist, who obviously returned to join OVE. Burning hammer on Jake Crist by Cody Deaner. That was awesome. Frog splash by Angels onto a table. The table broke with Callihan on it. Callihan kicked out. That was nuts. Deaner hit Angels by the baseball bat by accident. A trash can. Sami attacked Deaner with a trash can. Cactus driver, which I love. I love the sort of short pile driver on Deaner, but Deaner kicks out. But then Sami pulls him up, hits him with a baseball bat, and then hits him with another cactus driver on the barbed wire table, Sam, for the win. So really, this to me feels like the end of the Design, or certainly the beginning of the end of the Design. And I wouldn't have.
I'm not convinced.
I wouldn't have had that result. I would have had the Design go over after all those spots. Even after I'd have had somebody save Deaner from that pin, leave the barbed wire pin, and then I would have had the Design go over. Sorry, go on. So you broke up there. You broke up there a bit, Sam. You go ahead now. Give me your reaction.
Yeah. So do you want me to go downstairs? It might be easier for you guys to hear me. I might have better internet and less rain.
Well, it's up to you. If you want to take us downstairs, feel free.
Right, shall I take you with me?
Well, I tell you what, yeah, you can. Let's travel downstairs.
Can we go downstairs? Me and Andy did this the other day. Right, you're coming with me. Hang on. Sorry, massage chair. We're good. Flipping heck. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can, yeah. Yeah.
Right, you're coming with me.
This is exciting.
Yeah. We're going to see some things. Stuff. Oh my God, I'm going to get past this.
Wow.
Hang on. It's happening. Right, let's go.
It's looking wet. Wet and wild.
It's coming through. It's really bad. Yeah. Look outside. It's smashing down on the other office roof. Oh, hello, Finley. There is a dog here.
All right, nothing wrong with that.
Oh my
God. Feels like this is like a setting of a horror film.
It is, isn't it? Like, look at that. Can you see that water?
Yeah.
Finley, what's the matter?
Finley doesn't like it.
No, he's not impressed, is he? He hates thunderstorms, this dog. Oh, hello, cat.
Well, this is honestly like something. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna get jump scared any second. You know. I'm the worst. I would totally poo myself if you jump scared me, and I wasn't expecting it. But don't do it because I proper hate them. I proper hate them.
It's still pretty crazy in here, but it's not as bad as it was up there.
Yeah. Well, we've only got one more match to go.
That's better, isn't it? That's better.
That is very, very much so. So, Sam, you take us through your thoughts on this this Ohio street fight, please.
Yeah, so I think now the logical thing to do is a one-on-one match between, Sami Callihan and Dina. That seems to be the logical place to go. But I think you're right. I think the heels should have won in order to do that. But the question now is, are they going to do something really, really heinous to Sami, and then they're going to do that later? So it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I thought Alan Angels was absolutely the MVP, like 100%. I think you're right with that. But I liked the moment when Callihan got Dina on his own and was like, "You and me now, come on." That was good. That did it for me. We can see enough of Con. Going up against Fulton. I know we saw it for a bit, but I would have liked. That's a singles match. I'd quite like to see two big meaty men slapping me. I've got nothing bad to say about this. It was fun. It was a hardcore match without gratuitous blood and anything like that. Like, it wasn't. There were moments where in the last monthly special where Maclin and PCO, where I had to look away because it was like, God,
yes.
Bloody hell, like Sassy would love this, but it's not really for me. It was a cracking match, but that you couldn't see Maclin's face of blood. So I'm glad that nobody got too hurt in this one, and they were able just to do the storytelling without it getting cut short. Because we've had enough in recent months. I've had enough of wrestlers going a little bit too far and getting hurt, and then it kind of screwing up the finish or screwing up what they can do. Obviously, it's their art and they've got to do it their way. Completely fine with that. I just don't want anyone to get hurt. And wowzers, see that?
Wow!
Oh, did you see it? It forked right behind me as well. I saw it. We were recording. That happened live. That fork lightning came down. I saw it in the. That's ace. But anyway, this is crazy. This has never happened before, has it?
No, it's good.
It is like a horror film.
It is, yeah. Like at the end, we're gonna get, there's gonna be something's gonna come and get Sam or something, and at the end of the stream. So yeah, those your thoughts on that match as we finish off there.
Yeah, it was good. I don't think it's the feud is blown off yet. I think there's a little bit more to do between the two primary characters. They'll milk it a little bit longer, but I'm thinking Slammiversary, Sami Callihan versus Dina. That's what I'm thinking.
the blow off, and maybe Angels is kind of torn between the two of them. Maybe
Perhaps, yeah.
That's an interesting dynamic. Maybe a bit like the Usos and Sami Zayn. Maybe Dina after the kick, because it was accidental, or the accidental baseball bat to Angels by Dina. Maybe Angels wants to, maybe Sami Callihan starts trying to sway Angels over to the good side,
When we're all, God, isn't that a weird thing to consider? Sami Callihan, of all people, being the righteous.
Righteous, yeah.
Well, no, we're not I don't mean righteous as in the stables, in righteous in the traditional sense. Where are all the creepy weirdos in the yellow hoodies? Who are they? Just part timers?
Yeah, they're just
who we can call on now. They're freelance thugs.
Yes, indeed they are. Like I say, we'll wait and see what happens there going forward. It could be interesting to see what happens with the design and Sami Callihan as we head into Slammiversary. We are coming to the end now, guys. We have the final match. A big change here. Alex Shelley versus Steve Maclin, as we've said. Steve Maclin losing the championship after a very short reign to Alex Shelley. And I feel like that might be what's happening with Alex Shelley. I feel like we might have Alex Shelley as a transitional champion, but I'll get your thoughts on that in a second, Sam, because the match itself was pretty great. There was some good moments here. Before that, though, it was announced that obviously July 15th is Slammiversary. If we are available, we will be covering that. But also Impact versus New Japan Multiverse United 2 with Hiroshi Tanahashi going to be announced. That was announced for August 28th. But yeah, anyway, we got straight into this match. It was a nice little clash here. Maclin sort of smash mouth style counters Shelley's quick pace. There was a nice little moment where Maclin nearly tapped out, and I never really believed watching this back because I managed to avoid spoilers. I never believed Shelley was going to win this, but there was a lovely moment where I thought Shelley was going to win with the figure four, where Maclin was really selling that submission. That was really cool. Maclin did the flying headbutt to Shelley. That always makes me wince when I see people do that. No more flying headbutts, please, anybody. I know people have learned to protect themselves, but yeah, I don't like that move. It makes me cringe when I see it. But Maclin hit one anyway on Shelley. There was a nice kind of apron DDT by Shelley, and then a sliced bread. Actually, really good work from Shelley to Maclin on the outside. And there was also that was really cool. I love the KIA, which is traditionally Maclin's finisher. He hit one of those, but Shelley managed to get his foot on the rope. It was tight, it was close, lots of near falls, lots of teases for what I didn't believe was going to happen. Lots of teases that Shelley was going to win, which when it actually happened, I was completely shocked. I'm not going to lie, I was shocked because I was like, well, what did they give Maclin the title for? But we'll talk. I've only got a few more notes to run through. Like I say, just going through this match, beautiful back and forth at the end. There was a nice little moment where Maclin went face first into this sort of exposed turnbuckle, a super kick, and a shell shocked, which I think is a better version of the Blade Runner and the Sister Abigail. Obviously Jay White's Blade Runner, Bray White's Sister Abigail. Love the shell shock finisher by Shelley. So Shelley wins, and then the Motor City Machine Guns come out and celebrate, and it's a lovely moment. But they did Maclin dirty. What was the point in that match? What was the point in all the press Maclin did, saying he was going to be a great champion and he was going to hold on to it with his life? If they're going to give it to Alex Shelley, Maclin was a transitional champion to get it to Shelley. I believe Shelley's going to be a transitional champion to get it to Aldis. So I would have rather they gave it to Maclin until Aldis, and then Aldis took it from Maclin. That's what I expected to happen, Sam. And all of my plans as a wrestling fan got completely destroyed by this event today. I thought Maclin was going to keep it as the monster heel until he faced Aldis. Aldis was going to be the champion baby face and win. But no, now we've got Alex Shelley, who is definitely the champion baby face. And Aldis is going to have to turn heel to make this work. And I believe Shelley's going to be a transitional champion. Aldis is going to win at Slammiversary, right? What do you think is going to happen off the back of this? And were you shocked? Were you as shocked as me when this happened?
Yeah, I was. I honestly thought I got mixed feelings. So I think, like, for starters, obviously Shelley deserves it. He's never held it. If he wasn't going to hold it now, it really was now or never. So I get it from that point of view. But then the other point of view is he's the veteran. He doesn't really need the rub. There's, I know he's never held the title, but Maclin is the up and coming villain. The big heel. But I think, and also I'm surprised. I always thought they were going to keep this on Maclin until Josh Alexander got back and have the clash of the Titans. That is honestly where I thought they were going with this. But I think that's because everybody thought that, or maybe Aldis was going to take it off him. But I honestly thought everybody was going to come up short until Josh Alexander comes back, and because he had to be the one in my head to take down Maclin. So
absolutely, I mean, they could do that without.
Yeah, they can still do that later, but yeah, it does throw everything into disarray a bit. It's because it's like, from a booking and a putting over newer guys' point of view, it made sense to keep it on Maclin and have this reign of terror that Maclin's on continue. But at the same time, it was now or never with Alex Shelley. And it was kind of nice that we've had a little bit of a moment with Motor City Machine Guns both being on top of the card together, with the A title and the B title, the X Division title, which is incredibly important and special, and then the World Heavyweight Championship. So it was nice seeing them bump their belts and come out, and we both won. Like, they sent the audience home happy. That was something I'm pleased to see and glad that they've done it. Shelley certainly deserves it. But yeah, I wonder if the person who's going to have the reign of terror is going to end up being Aldis, and Aldis might repeat his awesome run that he had in NWA, where he became more and more and more and more unhinged. A little bit like they're doing with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is now believing his own hype and will need to lose the belt. And because when Aldis lost his belt, the Sweet Charlotte, the NWA title, he almost, like he'd been living in a fog, and he came out of it and was like, where have I been? Like, what is that thing? What did that belt do to me? I'm sorry for my behavior. It all just went to my head. I love the idea of him doing that again in a bigger company.
Bigger platform. Yeah. So you do believe that Shelley's a transitional champion, effectively?
Yeah, I suppose so, because I think Shelley. I'm glad that he's been able to be on the record books and he's got it for a bit. It'd be nice to see him defend it a couple of times, but I always associate him with the tag team Motor City Machine Gun, so I think they're both going to be transitional. It's nice that they've both been given their flowers, but I don't want them to both to hold it for too long, because I want to see them make some new stars, which is what they're both great at doing. No disrespect to them, but I do want to see Aldis, Maclin, and Josh Alexander and Moose and people like that at the top of the card as well. There's a lot to be excited about in Impact at the moment. I'm actually, the fact that they've blasted your expectations and mine, it actually makes me excited. And I think back to WrestleMania, where I was a little bit deflated by the final results, but now it makes sense to me a bit more, and I'm feeling it a bit more. Like, for a long time, I thought Cody losing was the worst result, but now with Roman hitting 1,000 days and the bloodline fracturing and his world crumbling down, you know what I mean. I'm starting to see the logic now, and it's like Ant said as well. Cody now having that journey back will make it mean more. If Cody was to bloody lose again, it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But now, like, we all counted our chickens before it was hatched, and I think we did that tonight as well.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, but so, like I said, I'm happy for Shelley as a fan, but from a booking perspective, again, especially because we were, obviously we did have some time with Maclin. It was great to have that interview that you did with him over on WrestleSphere. Again, his confidence at being Impact champion, and I'm sure he'll get back there again. I think he's a great heel, and I want to see him destroy a plucky babyface going forward. If he doesn't win the title back or something. If he doesn't win the title back next week and then go on to face Aldis, which, again, Shelley goes in the record books tonight, but then gets beaten by Maclin in a rematch, because I'm sure Maclin's going to get a rematch, So I'm sure we'll see Maclin back at the top of the card again. But yeah, go and check out that interview with Steve Maclin that you did, Sam. It was very well. You don't have to check it out. The people that come back and watch this please do check it out on WrestleSphere. Go and check out WrestleSphere if you can. Just type it in, WrestleSphere, SPHERE, onto YouTube and check out the interviews we've done there. We've got some WWE stuff, some AEW stuff, and crucially some Impact stuff. So go and see all that there. This has been our review of what we were watching. Against All Odds 2023. God, I'm actually tired. It's weird doing these streams again. I quite like doing them at these more sociable hours though.
Yes.
So hopefully people do come back and watch this and appreciate our thoughts on this pay-per-view as a whole. Your grade of the night, Sam, match of the night and performer of the night, if you please.
Oh, wow. I'm on the spot now. I'm going to go with Alex Shelley for performer of the night, because he deserved. He got so much what he deserved. Match of the night. The match I most enjoyed was the Sami Callihan and his crew OVE versus the Design. And grade, I've got. It was a good show, and it surprised me a few times. So I've got nothing but it. It didn't blow my mind. It wasn't like one of the greatest wrestling shows I've ever seen, but it didn't do anything bad. So I think I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, I'm going to give it a solid 7.5. Did I interrupt you mid-flow there?
No.
7 points. So 7 points. So you did 8.5. Your performer of the night was, just recap.
Performer of the night, I'm going to give it to Alex Shelley. Because I think, we've all taken him for granted for so long, and it was great to see him finally achieve what he set out to achieve. But a match of the night, I've got to give to Callahan's boys.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was the dog collar match. Great to see. I love the dynamic between Slamovich and Killer Kelly. I think my performer of the night was Ace Austin. I think is really, really coming to his own. Chris Bay, close second. Dina as a heel was great. Alan Angels. That's it. It's Ace Austin in first, Alan Angels in second.
Both did well.
Grade 7.5. Really, really good, solid pay-per-view event. Some surprises and congratulations. Whoever watches this, congratulations to the Motor City Machine Guns. Well done on your respective title wins. This has been our review. Go on.
Before we do the wrap up, one final thing. Did you see what Shelley did when he got the belt? He did something you've done before. He got the belt and he kissed it.
He licked it, didn't he?
And then went, like you did with the Give Me a Holy Air belt. And my wife is creepily looking through the glass.
Hi.
I told you someone was going to jump out and get me when we did that little horror thing before. It's her.
Absolutely. And you'll be gotten and you'll be taken to the bedroom, Sam, like a naughty, naughty boy.
I sincerely hope so.
I hope so too. Well, on that note, I'm going to leave you to the mercy of your wife, and I will have a phone call with you shortly. Probably not tonight because I'm going to go get some dinner.
Me too.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully, you run back our thoughts on Against All Odds 2023 by Impact Wrestling. There are some lovely interviews over on WrestleSphere. Go and support those. Support Give Me a Whole Year podcast. Dan will be back on Monday Night Raw. Anthony will be returning from download for AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. And Sam, because he's long-suffering and hard-working, will be covering your SmackDown on Friday. Thank you for everybody for continuously supporting the crew and supporting Sam on his SmackDown journey every week, and Dan, of course, on Raw, Anthony on AEW. I'm Dom. I'll be showing up at some point again, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys. If you watch this back, we appreciate you. If you've joined us at all this time, as we've been live, we appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching. Have I missed anything, Sam? Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, I think we're good. I think I need my bed. I'm still tired from SmackDown last night. It was quite chilled. I did it like a radio DJ on the night shift last night. But yeah, I'm ready for my bed and a cup of tea.
Absolutely, yeah, me too, mate. Norma just popping in there. So the belt has taken over reigns, like the ring in Lord of the Rings does its own. A good idea. Yes, I agree, and I think that's where you were going with the Aldis
Yeah,
storyline.
definitely.
wasn't
That's
it?
such a good comparison.
You know, again,
Such a good comparison.
have Aldis do what he did in the NWA, and I need to go back and watch some of that stuff because that sounds fascinating.
It was amazing.
You know,
Yeah, it's great.
this
Went on
belt,
for years, though. Went on for years. You've got a lot to watch.
yeah,
It was a big journey.
This belt becoming an obsession to Aldis, and it'd be great to see that Impact on a bigger stage at the expense of Crist, Shelley, the brand new Impact Wrestling World Champion. Go and watch Against All Odds. It was a pay-per-view. It was a great show. I do recommend it. 7.5 from me, 8.5 from Sam. So go and check that out. And thank you to everybody that's joined us, and thank you to everybody that will join, that will come back and watch this. We appreciate you very, very much. This has been the Gimme a Hug Yeah Wrestling Podcast. My name is Dom. That's Sam, and we will see you again really soon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you later. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Bye, guys. Bye.
Hello, and welcome to the Gimme a Hall Yeah podcast. This is Evil Udo of the Dark Order. I hope everyone in Yorkshire and beyond are having an awesome day. Join Dark Order.
The Dark Order are amazing, Sam. You have no taste. The Dark Order rule. Join the Dark.
Proper slagged them off, didn't I? And then you went and did the outro with Evil Uno.
We're still live. We're still live. We're still recording because the Dark Order is amazing. And you're wrong, Sam. You're wrong. Everybody who watches this back, join the Dark Order. Keep the Dark Order alive. Yeah.